Hey, it's Ed here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for Ethereum. I'll cover wave analysis with Elliott Wave theory and provide multiple scenarios the price may take and explain why I prefer one counter over another. Let's take a look at the different possibilities. Starting here on 4 hour time frame and looking at the counter starting from the lows of June that we had. We had bullish and bearish scenarios for this. So where we had this again is the bearish one, where we had a three-way structure coming from the lows as in the form of a WXY. The bullish scenario, however, had this as a 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 into an A wave. Again, A wave is just because the higher time frame expectation is that we are creating an ABC structure here before a possible continuation to the downside. There is of course a possibility where this structure from the all-time highs was already complete here at the lows of June, and this was a wave 1 of something. What makes it less likely is just because the extension in time that we have already created in comparison to this A wave compared to the current time that we have taken during this correction from the highs of 2K. Again, if we go beyond the 1-to-1 extension in time, it is more likely that it is actually a B wave instead of a wave 2. So just the probabilities there. So what do we have actually here for the second structure? The main idea that I have is this one, and in this one again we had this as an ABC coming down into a wave W, ABC here into X, and then looking for downwards movement for that wave Y. 1-to-1 extension would be around 871, which would be right around the starting point here. Again, the invalidation for the bullish setup is at these lows, right around that same area, and for the three-way structure that we had, we don't really have a retracement that is actually invalidating the idea until we are going to go beyond the 1.61 retracement, which would be around $167. Hopefully we don't go there, but again, that is the only invalidation there. So the idea here is that if we are zooming in, that we would be creating some kind of a three-way structure for that wave Y. There is a potential or possibility where this whole thing could be labeled as a three-way structure, something like this. However, there is of course a possibility where this is also labeled as a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into 3, 4, 5. Again, as this is a five-way structure, the expectation here overall is a three-way structure for that wave Y to create an ABC zigzag. Again, if we are just following this this parallel channel that we had from the highs of 2K with these WXY tops and bottoms, we would be labeling this around the $871 again. And depending on how fast this is going to go, we could be looking into this as a 1-to-1 projection of that wave W here. This would already bring us way beyond the well, basically halfway of December, but I'm not quite sure if that is going to be the case, because again, this was clearly a 5-wave or very impulsive wave structure, let's just say that. Of course, we had one here as well, if we are labeling it this way, and here the wave C was actually a bit more deeper or more steeper, I guess, than the wave A. So it's definitely possible that one of these wave structures here is going to be taking a bit longer than the other. But just for the symmetry's sake, I would be expecting this to be doing something like that instead. Now for the wave B, we would have some targets here on a bit higher time frame. Let's take some kind of projections here. Golden pocket 1447, which would bring us back to these levels over here. We have some kind of support there as well. Let's see if there is anything else. Not really. Well, there is some kind of a volume, but again, if we are breaking the 0.5 retracement, then there is going to be less of a chance this is going to be pivoting downwards. But I do think that again, we need to be trusting the counts that we have, that this is just the A wave. At least it gives the best probabilities and the best look onto this chart, so that's what I'm going to go with. Now, within this wave B, we have a couple of different views. This one was the one that I presented again previously, where we had the major difference between these two that I'm showing you is this structure being either the start of something or an end of something. On this case, it was the start of something. Now we have already broke down from the lows, or yeah, we have taken out the lows basically of this, where this move started. So this is no longer valid because again, on this count, this was a wave A. So we don't need to be looking into this count anymore. The other structure that we were looking at was this one, where we had this as a three-way structure into these highs, and then a possible W, X, and then looking for wave Y. Again, this does not really have the good proportions on it, but if we still want to be having this as a 5-way structure and don't really want to be saying that this is the parting leg, because again, although it does go beyond the starting or ending point of this first structure, it does not really give us anything here other than just divergence to the downside. I don't really like either of these cases, having this as a 3-way structure already here, nor do I like this being a structure of wave Y, because again, it is so high, or sorry, not high, but it is so large in comparison to these previous moves. Because again, this would be the first W, and then this would be X, and then this would be Y. All of these subsequent wave structures are way larger than the previous moves. There are of course possibilities where I've seen people labeling, especially on Bitcoin, where we would have this as a possible triangle, and that does not really fit here either, especially at the end. It is not very good looking, this being a triangle. Again, we don't really want to see these kind of structures in triangles. If the price is sending a signal that, okay, this could be a triangle, we should be looking at RSI as well to see that we would be in a contracting move in RSI as well, to give us more confidence and confidence that this is indeed an RSI. Also on the volume side, we should be looking at smaller and smaller volume as we did here. But yeah, this is at the moment the count that I'm actually watching at the moment. So from the top of this wave X, we would have 3 waves into wave W, then 3 waves here into wave X, again with this being the telling tale that, okay, this could be ending something. The issue with this one is, again, it is so high that even the whole start of this move is already taken out, even on these higher time frames. Let's see, actually 1 hour. Yeah, see, this is already taking out all of these, which is definitely something that I don't like. But yeah, we can't really go or do anything about it, so we just need to go with the flow here. So this was again the end of that blue X wave, and then we would have another possible impulse wave coming down. This first structure here is definitely not really pretty. We had a few different ideas here. This could be 3 waves, 3 waves, 3 waves. But if we are looking this as only a 3-way structure, a 3-way structure, and 3-way structure, that would just give us the first 3-way structure of something. Another 3-way structure, but then we are definitely looking like it is accelerating to the downside here, which would fit more into the idea of being some kind of 1-2s. And for that, again, we would have to be saying that we have this as some kind of diagonal. It is definitely not pretty, but that is something that we have to accept if we want to be labeling this as an impulse wave structure. And this would be a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 3, 4, and 5, 3, 4, and 5 into an A wave here. At that point, again, we can't really end this WXY into this A wave, because again, this is a 5-way structure, and for the wave Y here, we would be expecting a 3-way structure. So in this case, again, we can't end it with a 5 wave, so this would indeed be a wave, so a start off zigzag, then look for some kind of retracements for that B wave before the continuation to the downside for that C wave here, before again completing the wave Y to complete the wave higher time frame wave Y. Now we are currently getting a very nice confluence, or well, targets basically for this wave Y of this blue and this greenish color as well, around the 1128. This is going to give us the 1-to-1 extension of this wave W pivoted from the X again for that wave Y, and the 1.236 extension of this wave W here pivoted from this X wave here. So yeah, that is the main target at the moment, I do think. Depending on, of course, how high we are getting here, we can be projecting that and see if we have some kind of target here on this white count as well. If we are going to go back to the golden pocket here, we would be seeing not too much. Does not really seem to be lining up really perfect with the 1-to-1. It could be just going higher. Yeah, it does not really seem to be fitting too well. There are targets, of course, lower here as well, where we have some kind of structures and not structures, but the targets here very close to each other. So that could also be the case. But first target would be the 1-to-1, of course, after we have pivoted. And I do think that is going to be happening tomorrow morning, maybe, or at least this pivot. But yeah, I think that is pretty much that. There's not really anything else I'm really concerned about this. The structures from the lows, however, does not really seem too impulsive. Is definitely a possibility to label this as a three-way structure. I don't really see us a possibility having this as some kind of diagonal. There is, again, overlaps here, so it definitely is not any kind of clear 1-2 setup. Of course, we could be saying that we have multiple nested 1-2s, but again, after a 3 nested pattern 1-2s, it is getting less and less likely that it is actually nested. So I definitely wanted to look for some kind of potential in here for some kind of diagonal. However, none of the lines really go here together well. If we have taken or would take this high out, we could be labeling it something like this, where we would have this as some kind of wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It is definitely not a pretty one either. But yeah, could be something to look into. But for now, I think I'm going to be staying in the sidelines, looking for this one more pump here. And if we are getting some kind of resistance area, potentially these highs or even this consolidation area, we could be looking into those shorts, and then later on here for long setups again. But at the moment, I don't have any play here on ETH. I think that is going to be doing it for this video. If you made it this far, I would appreciate the likes. Link to my free Discord server in the description below. And for now, I thank you for watching and hope you have an amazing rest of your day. See you in the next video. Bye bye.